Hey there guys, good morning. It's Jimmy Trades here. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the midweek market meetup. Just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay, if the music's at a good level. Good morning, Tomek. Ali, good morning. Thanks for joining, guys. Give it a minute or so and we'll get on with the show. Thanks, Ali, appreciate it. I just got my laptop back from the manufacturer after getting repaired. So I'm just getting things set up again. Just got to make sure everything's working properly. All right, so here we are, midweek market meetup. It's been a couple of weeks due to some disruptions with my laptop, and my backup laptop just can't run the resources I need to do the streams, etc. So we're back, which is great. Happy to be back on this historic day for Americans, I guess. It looks like Trump has won the election, so we've seen some decent moves in the market today. Let's have a look and see if those moves might continue. Phil, good morning. Hope you're doing well. First of all, we'll just duck back to the calendar because we always start our day on the calendar. And we have no news today. But obviously the election results come in and Americans are going to wake up to the news that Trump has won. So, you know, I am expecting or anticipating that there will be some reaction to the market, more so than what we've seen already today, potentially. So I'd still consider there being news today, if that makes sense. All right. So over here on NQ, and again, guys, remember to, you know, throw your questions in the chat. We'll answer them along the way, or we can, if I miss some, we'll come back and circle back to them at the end. So we can see certainly quite an expansive move today on NQ. So we had been looking price moving from an external level, moving lower. And then price had put in this bearish FEG. So what had been anticipating after this sweep was a move back into this bearish FEG for then a continuation lower, and that would have also respected the change in the state of delivery here. Obviously with the US election that hasn't happened, and we've actually mitigated this bearish FEG with today's price action. So next target is the high. And NQ has been lagging in comparison to ES. So we'll have a look at the two side by side for a minute. We can see here that ES is at new all-time highs. So ES is definitely cruising along nicely. What we do see is a bearish SMT. If we look at the same point here on ES, we see this. So we have that divergence being a bearish SMT. So let's just go back to NQ for a moment. So we've mitigated this bearish FEG, and we're anticipating price, you know, will it reach higher? Can it get to this external level here? So now that we've got this level mitigated, we can look for a bullish bias for today, because we've disrespected this bearish point of interest. We can duck down to the hourly. So the first thing I want to do on the hourly is I'll mark out this manipulation leg here. And what we see is price has reached up into this -2 to -2.5 region. So I'm going to bring that down to that's, so swing low to the swing high. That's the manipulation leg. And price has reached up into that -2 to 2.5. And what we can see here is we're getting a retracement, which is not surprising when we've had such an expansion through today already. I'm going to drop down to the 15-minute so we can see the Asia and London ranges. You can see that Asia expanded at 260 points. So, and then the expansion did continue to the London high, and we consolidated and then retraced. And we can anticipate after a large expansion that we will see consolidation or retracement. Right now we're getting that retracement, and prices come back down and respected the midnight open. And if we have a look at this dealing range here, prices also dip down into a discount. So I'm anticipating that price will likely continue to move higher today, or continue to expand after our move, our expansion, retracement, and then continued expansion. That's what I'm anticipating. So Tomic, are you looking for this manipulation leg here that I've drawn out? So we've got the region here, this -2 to 2.5, that I always look for price to react to. Now price has reacted to that level and come back into an hourly bullish FVG. So if we continue to support this level, and we've also bounced from this order block here. Along with, in this expansion, seeing breakaway gap, followed by a small FVG that's filled, and then price continues to expand. So this manipulation leg, the way I look at it, Tommy, is I just look for what for me is obvious. And in this range here, we can see that this low is an obvious low, especially with this buyer's wick. This buyer's wick stands out for me. And I just run that from the low to the high. You're saying up to here. Well, the reason I've chose this leg is just because we do have a defined high here. So we have a swing point, an institutional swing point here, and we have one here. That's the reason I've chosen to use this leg. And to be honest with you, it's not going to make that huge a difference really. Even if you did use that swing high, price has still reached into that -2 to 2.5 region and had a reaction, which is the way I look at price, and that's what I'm looking for, to see that reaction. And it's the same when I get to the lower time frames, because that's when I start looking for my entries off of the standard deviations. Ideally, if obviously this is chopped through here, so it's not as crystal clear as we would like, but if we could have some sort of manipulation, like obviously like our unicorn model, then you have those clear swing points to draw your standard deviations off of. Now the alternative, if you have a failure swing, where price does this, then you can run the standard deviations not that way, this way. If you have a failure swing, you can run it off this leg. Whereas if you have a reversal, you would run it that way. So from the low to the high. So that's how I use standard deviations. Yes, I'm looking for bullish price action today. I think price will continue to move higher off the back of the election result today. And obviously half the world waking up to that news. Let's move over to ES. So we see ES is all-time highs. And price is at a swing point. But we do have this very decisive candle. Now, I'm not instantly going to be bearish. We do have a breakaway gap, and we have disrespected or mitigated this bearish FEG here as well. So it's still going to continue to look for bullish price action. Whether I was looking to take a trade at all-time highs, that's another story. But, you know, we want to look to see what price is doing and be subjective to that. So if we have a look at the hourly, you can see the manipulation here is a little bit clearer on ES than it was on NQ. And we see that price was able to close beyond the -2 to 2.5. So we've got a nice close above. And what's interesting here is that you will almost always see a reaction at the -2 to 2.5 extension. And you can see that happened here. We pushed straight up into that level, consolidated, retraced into this bullish FEG, and then continued to expand. Now, because we've closed above the -2.5, I'm anticipating price to at least reach our max extension of the -4. So that would be an initial target for the AM session. Even if price was to pull back a little bit, we've got this dealing range here from this swing, these two swing points. We might see price come a little bit lower into a discount before continuing higher, or we may not. Again, we have another breakaway gap here. And if that stays unmitigated, then that's more confluence to price to continue higher. So we'll move on now to oil. I'm going to actually leave those markings on there for a moment. They were from the last couple of days. So we see price filled and closed through this opening gap. This was the new week opening gap. That was from last Monday. We closed through that. We did have some retracement, and then we managed to reach up to this high. This was an area that I was looking for price to reach to as a strong area looking for a reversal. The reason for that is because we have a swing high aligned with a bearish FEG. Both are bearish points of interest. So if we drop to the hourly, you can see I've projected this -2 to 2.5 region across. So what was good confluence here going into, say, yesterday's market was that you can see this clear manipulation leg here. So there's a really good example of the type of manipulation we look forward to project from. This -2 to 2.5 region aligned with the swing high on the daily. So once price reached that level, that's where I was looking for a reversal. And sure enough, we did in fact get that reversal. Price then came back up into this bearish FEG here on the hourly and subsequently moved away. Now, if I don't find a nice swing point on the hourly, sometimes I'll use the 15-minute. And I actually tend to use the 15-minute for standard deviations as I come into my kill zone, the time that I'm going to trade. I use the 15-minute for standard deviation projections to then try and frame a location for an entry. We can see this manipulation leg here. Price ran right down to that. So if at this reversal level, if I was on the lower time frame looking for an entry, you could be targeting this -2 to 2.5. You don't necessarily need to be targeting 2R, for example. Obviously 2R is a safe bet most of the time, and if that's part of your risk plan. But what I'm getting at is if you could trail your stop, if that is part of your process, then you could try and trail your stop through to this level. You can see once price reached this level, we then reacted again. And we had a very nice 15-minute unicorn. Or very, like, this is textbook. We have our stop hunt, our bearish breaker, FVG aligned with the breaker. In fact, we get 2, retrace back up, and then move away. In a trade like that, if you had a reasonably tight stop, you know, if you manage to catch the bottom, for example, to what have we got, a 4-hour trade, 167 ticks on oil is pretty good going. So textbook unicorn on the 15-minute. So now that price has reached this level, we're seeing where we've got some consolidation here. We haven't got a close below the -2.5 yet, so I'm not projecting towards the -4. I want to see that close below before I look to continue to move lower. What we do have is we've got a London high, the London high here with a stop hunt, and we have low resistance liquidity. Now what I do like to do is I use UK oil for SMT. Price is looking pretty similar. No SMT there on this time frame. So if we move back out to the daily, we've swept external, and we can look for internal. And we have internal resting right here. And I would imagine that's what you were talking about there, Tomic. Yes, because yeah, you can't hold overnight. Actually, there is a prop firm. I'm not sure which firm it is. I can't remember off the top of my head, but there is a firm that allows you to hold overnight, which is interesting. Particularly with oil, because oil can be quite can be slow at times. But I tell you, Pete, price action on oil lately has been very clean. So I'm going to remain bearish for oil. Looking at our daily. ERL to IRL. Well, Euro futures fell off a cliff. Wow. How about that? Price putting in equal lows at the moment. It may have just got a slight sweep. And I wouldn't necessarily just move to bullish right now. We do still have this low resistance liquidity for a potential target. And we've got this low here, which might be the draw. What we could see is after this large expansion, we might see some consolidation. Let's have a look at the hourly. We can see our projection here. When price closed below the negative 2.5, we can anticipate price to reach lower. And we're nearly at that -4 max extension. So interesting, you know, that it aligns with that swing low. So keep an eye on this and see how price reacts, but certainly bearish order flow at the moment. So I wouldn't anticipate to become bullish at this stage until we see a change in the state of delivery. Have a look at YM. Nizar, when did you become profitable? 2023. No, it wasn't 2023. And it depends how you define profitable. If you consider all the expenses with trading, if you consider that I walked away from a profitable commercial plumbing business that paid me quite well every year, I wouldn't say I've made all that money back yet. So it really depends how you define profitable. But we keep working every day and we never give up. So YM on the daily. To be expected that imagine we're at all-time highs on YM as well. I don't often look at YM, so that's why I wasn't too sure, but yes, it looks that's the case. So sweeping the daily swing high, we're at all-time highs. You've got to be erring on the side of caution when it comes to trading at all-time highs. We're continuing to expand here. So there's potential we could continue to move higher. And we've mitigated all these, this bearish FEG here, this one here, and we're now at this swing high. So we just need to wait and see here. I would have a neutral bias right now, just with being at all-time highs. Price is clearly continuing to expand here. You could even use this as a manipulation leg to draw from, and you could target this area to then see if price has a reaction here. So looking at the hourly, if we do see some retracement, you know, we may come back into this hourly bullish FEG before we continue higher, but at the moment, price just looks like it wants to continue to expand. Have a manipulation leg here that we could look at. You can see we've got that close above the -2 to 2.5. So we can anticipate price to reach the -4. And if we move out to the daily again, I just want to run standard deviations off of here. You can see that the -4 on the hourly is aligned with the -2 to 2.5 on the daily. So some confluence there that we might see price reach this zone. Let's have a look at the Russell. So I marked this earlier. We've got a daily bearish FEG, a legacy FEG from way back over here from January. We also have a swing high here at 244.860. 244.860, so around this level here. And at the moment, it looks like we might be mitigating this bearish FEG. Again, we might continue to see price move higher. And here's your first target region. So if we do mitigate this bearish FEG, then we'll see price continue higher. There was a look on the hourly. Some consolidation. Not surprising after large expansion that we're seeing some consolidation. But is it going to consolidate and then continue to distribute, or will we retrace? So we'll stick with bullish, working with this trend, and we have these target regions. Let's check out gold. Gold's taken a bit of a dive. So we may be putting in a bearish breaker here. We have a stop hunt. We've got an inversion with a balanced price range through here. and we've also displaced beyond this swing low, and we're mitigating this bullish FEG as well. We are resting in this bullish FEG, and if we have a look, this is our discounted zone. We have a small FEG here that we might see price reach for. If it doesn't find support here. Oh, we have a swing low here, I didn't see that. So we're actually in a discount of this dealing range here, which is resting in this FEG. So potential for a reversal here. Let's have a look at the hourly. But if you're going to look for longs, I think just with this expansion lower, you'd want to see a change in the state of delivery. Now that doesn't have to be on the hourly, it can be on the time frame that you work with. So that could be on the 15-minute time frame. So if it was on the hourly and we saw price push from here, then we'd be looking for price to expand beyond this level for the change in the state of delivery, or we see something like this happen, and then our change in the state of delivery would be here. Moving over to Dixie. On the daily, we have an opening gap. I don't think we're going to get back to that today, even though we know gaps like to be filled. Price is currently resting in this bearish FEG. So we're going to want to see if price disrespects this FEG, then we can look to continue to see price move higher and target these equal highs. So we're going to want to see price push through this to reach these highs. Otherwise, we get a reversal here, and then we'd look for, as I say, I don't think it would happen today, but we'd look for this gap to fill. Located at a bearish point of interest. We've had large expansion, so we can anticipate consolidation or retracement. I will go and have a look at GBP. So we could see a good example here of internal to external. Price moved from this internal bullish FEG. There's also a swing low here, so two bullish point of interest aligned with each other, so a strong reversal area. Price came up, and then what we see is today's price actually swept this high. So this swing high, and then has had quite a decisive move lower today. Again, we do have this bullish FEG, still got partially unfilled, and it hasn't been closed through. So price potentially could reach this level, and then we might look for a reversal. We've just swept this low. But again, with this such a strong move lower, I'd want to see a change in the state of delivery before I looked for longs. We have a potential nice setup here though. For if price is able to get some legs here and move higher, then this would be a nice, potentially a nice bullish unicorn. And then that would give us our change in the state of delivery as well. But at the moment, we can see that price has continued to respect these bearish PD arrays. We have the breakaway gap here, so it's been untapped. Let's have a quick look at Bitcoin. There's some old markups. I'm sort of hopeful now of a bit of a rally on crypto, particularly some of my alts that I've had diamond hands on that are in the red still. We've had quite a decisive move here today. Again, like most assets today, prices moved higher and we're at all-time highs. Again, a very decisive move. We'll likely see some retracement here. We'll see what tomorrow holds. Do we leave a gap? And then price has an opportunity to take take a bit of a breather and then continue to move higher. Good to see Bitcoin cruising along. All right, guys, we might wrap it up there. If anyone's got any questions, drop them in the chat. Give it a couple of seconds. Thanks for being patient with me over the last couple of weeks. I really appreciate it. Sorry we haven't been able to do this. We will go again next week. Remember, Ash is live streaming on YouTube for New York Open today as well, so be sure to tune in for that. I believe he is looking for positions today, so it could be a great opportunity to see StatMap in action along with the unicorn model, and maybe Ash will get a nice execution. Maybe all of us will, who knows. All right, guys, if there's no more questions, I'll wrap it up there. Thank you so much for joining today. And the other thing, I'm running that 50K My Fund of Futures giveaway. I'm drawing that this morning at 9 a.m. I'll be drawing that. So keep an eye on Twitter and you'll see if you've been lucky enough to win. Okay, guys, thanks so much. Take care. And we'll see you next week.